The sunshine looks like it's joining us, but so is that wind. Is that going to stick around throughout the day?
Yeah, we're going to really have that pretty much throughout the entire afternoon. It should die down by the time we get to the evening, but for right now, we are seeing those wind speeds really pick up, and we saw them really start to increase overnight. We're continuing to see those wind speeds at about 24 miles an hour in Jerome. Here's this timeline we're expecting as we get into tomorrow. We're going to see those temperatures really continue to stay sunny and pleasant. We're going to see that warmth continue to build, and then we're going to see the warmest day of the week on Sunday, just in time for Mother's Day. So this weekend is going to be absolutely fantastic. We do have a bit of a unique setup as we're getting into the weekend. This is considered a Rex block setup, and the reason for that is normally it's characterized as the high pressure up into the north, as we see here, with the low pressure into the south, and then we see the block part of it as this high pressure that's blocking some of those storms and steering them away. It looks, just by these numbers, like it's going to be an absolutely comfortable and fantastic day, but these numbers don't necessarily show the entire picture. We do have those warm temperatures that are going to help fuel instability in the atmosphere, which is going to bring a potential for some thunderstorms later on this afternoon into the evening. And as that low pressure system makes its way south and into the east, it will also help fuel some of the wet weather that we're going to see continue on for the next couple of days.
Yes, it's officially fall. We could say goodbye to summer. It is going to be a little warmer today, but as for right now, it's a little chilly out this morning. So most of these runners came out to lower 50s.
Maybe not the rest of the day. We'll possibly see that through the afternoon, and then later on die around maybe about 5, 6 in the afternoon in terms of intensity. We'll continue to see those winds, but as you look outside right now, we see a very beautiful picture right now with some of that snow we saw and the snow we're expecting, with those winds picking up a little bit later on this afternoon. We do have advisories and warnings pretty much across our viewing area. We're starting with the winter weather advisory that it's into effect in the upper Treasure Valley up until tomorrow at 5 p.m. And as we get into tomorrow and we open up this Mother's Day card here, here is the beautiful day that we're expecting for tomorrow. At about 10 a.m., we're going to be into those upper 60s, then into the 80s by 2 o'clock in the afternoon. And by the evening, we're going to stick around those lower 80s for the rest of the day. Now, things are starting to clear up just a bit. I know that visibility was kind of affected earlier this morning, so places all across the Treasure Valley and even in the West Central Mountains, we did see a lot of dense fog this morning, but it has since cleared out. We know that there is a bit of haze due to the air stagnation advisory that we do have into place, but other than that, it's just lots of clouds. That fog has since cleared up.
I think you guys use the ruler to kind of measure kind of what we can see in snow. In terms of just kind of seeing it visually just a bit, I think if we take a look at the side mirror here on this HDHD truck, we could see, like you mentioned, Rachel, 3 inches of snow. We could see that piling up, and it looks like it's starting to pile up even more as we get on through this early morning.
Well, we've been keeping an eye on a storm system that has been making its way from the coast into our area, and it's moving quickly already in portions of the lower Treasure Valley there, and some spots even near Cascade, already seeing some snowflakes kind of falling. As we get into Wednesday, just another big blast of snow that we're going to see pretty much across our viewing area, and that is going to be why those warnings are going to stay into effect up until tomorrow. And these are kind of the accumulations we're going to see pretty much up until Wednesday morning about 8 a.m. Later on into the afternoon and into the evening, we might see a bit of some of that clearing, and then we're going to continue to clear out as we get later on into the evening. That might be a potential of some fog that might develop tomorrow morning, so that's something that commuters are going to have to keep in mind tomorrow morning. I was going to say, for all those Star Wars fans that are out there, I want to say, may the 4th be with you, and that's for 2 reasons. 1, because it's May 4th, and I know that a lot of people say that, but 2, we're going to need a lot of help today because we have an active weather day today going into tomorrow. Right now, this morning, we're seeing a little bit of that sunshine. We're also seeing those winds really starting to pick up, and we're going to see that pretty much through the entire afternoon.
From News Channel 7, time for 7 First Alert weather.
Well, after a very dry and sunny day we saw yesterday, things are going to quickly start to shift as we get into later today, even into Sunday. So here's what we're expecting today and tomorrow. We're going to see a lot more of that windy valleys that we're going to see both in the Treasure Valley and the Magic Valley, with the possibility of wind gusts up to 45 miles an hour today before we see the return of some more rain. And then up into the mountains, we're going to see rain and snow possible in some areas as we get later on into the evening. And then by the time we get to Sunday, we're going to see those temperatures really plummet about 15 to 20 degrees by the time we get to Sunday, and that'll continue on Monday into Tuesday. So for right now, views are looking absolutely fantastic right now. We are seeing a bit more of that sunshine, a warmer start to the morning, up into the upper 50s for Boise, 39 for Twin Falls, 35 for McCall, and right around the same at 36 for Sun Valley. But again, aside from it looking great, we are going to contend with some of those winds. And here's some of the wind speeds we're seeing right now: 24 miles an hour in Jerome, 25 in Mountain Home, 16 in Boise. And these are the sustained winds we're going to see. So as we get later on into the morning, even into the afternoon, we're going to see those really start to pick up, and we're going to see a lot more gustier and breezier conditions on tap for us in the Treasure Valley and the Magic Valley. And because of that, we do have a wind advisory in effect right now till about 5 p.m. this afternoon. We're going to continue to see that because we're going to have those wind gusts again up to about 45 miles an hour and about 25 to 35 sustained winds as we get later on into this afternoon. So after we see those winds really start to die down just a bit, we'll still continue breezy throughout the entire afternoon. We do have this low center that is going to be bringing some precipitation into our area. We won't see it really break through till later on this evening, but then after that we have this cold front that's going to drop those temperatures by the time we get to Sunday. So after this low really starts to make its way into our area, we're going to see most of that moisture and that precipitation start to fall tonight into tomorrow morning. It becomes a lot more widespread, and then we're going to continue that into our Sunday. So here are some of those totals that we're looking at in terms of those rain totals: almost an inch in Boise, and then we're going to see more of that sort of heavier precipitation up into the west central mountains and continue into the central mountains. So we're just going to have a very wet Sunday as we can expect. So here's some of the temperatures that we're looking at for the next 7 days. We're going to be up into the 70s for today, so that temperature is still going to stay warm. But then if you look at Sunday, those temperatures really start to plummet into the upper 40s, and then those colder temperatures in the morning by Sunday, with those rain chances continuing Sunday into Monday. We warm up just a bit on Monday at about 55 degrees. We drop just a bit before we climb up again, and we start to see more of that sunshine start to peek through. Then by Friday, we see those temperatures climb up into the lower 70s with a lot more sunshine, and we'll have more news after this break.
Channel 7, time for 7 First Alert weather.
Well, we're still seeing a bit of that sunshine, but we are seeing those clouds continue to increase as we're getting later on into the day. We are seeing those temperatures increase as well. 49 degrees right now. We're expected to get up to about 55 degrees here in the City of Trees. For the rest of the Treasure Valley, we're expected to be in the upper 50s for the most part. In places in the Magic Valley, we're seeing 54 degrees in Twin Falls with 55 degrees for Gooding. And as we take a look at places in the mountains, we're going to see 44 degrees, so the warmest there in Haley as compared to Stanley and McCall, who are going to stay slightly below that 40-degree mark there. So we're going to continue to see those clouds increase for today. This is a look at what we're expecting for tomorrow. Those clouds will continue tomorrow morning. We will see that sunshine really make its way out as we get later on into the afternoon, and then we're going to see temperatures slightly warmer tomorrow, and we're going to continue a warming trend as we get into Sunday. So 58 degrees is what we're expecting for tomorrow, which is pretty on par with the average. So let's take a peek, or a peep that is, as what we're expecting for our Sunday. For that morning, we're expecting 42 degrees. We're going to see a lot more of that sunshine. We will stay a bit breezier for the morning, but by the time we get to midday, those temperatures are going to be up into the 50s and then possibly into the 60s by the time we get into the evening. And so Easter Sunday is looking absolutely fantastic for the Treasure Valley. But if we take a look at what we're expecting for Sunday in places like the Magic Valley and into eastern Idaho, we're expecting a lot more rain for that Easter Sunday. So here's a look at around Sunday at 5:30 in the morning. We see more of that really start to increase, and that should continue to become a lot more widespread, a possibility of rain snow mix in certain spots, but that should really make its way out as we get into Sunday evening leading up into Monday. So we're expecting that, and along with some of those rain chances, we're going to see the Treasure Valley stay dry, but we might see breezier conditions like I mentioned for Sunday. So here's a look at the wind gusts we're expecting for Sunday morning: about 24 miles per hour in Caldwell, 23 in Nampa, and pretty similar there in Mountain Home. And that should start to increase for the City of Trees there in Boise at 24 miles an hour. So we'll see breezier, more windy conditions in the Treasure Valley. We'll see a lot more rain in the Magic Valley, so that is something we can expect with some of that snow to start to pick up into certain mountain areas as we get into Saturday night, possibly into Sunday. So here's a look at what we're expecting for the Magic Valley for today. We're going to see a lot more cloud cover this afternoon, temperatures in the lower 50s. We're going to see the Central Mountains see a little bit cloudier conditions and continue to stay warmer, but we will see some of those rain showers possible in some spots later on this afternoon. But for the most part in the Treasure Valley, we're expecting those clouds to increase, temperatures into the mid-50s by the time we get to this afternoon. And then as we get later on into the evening, we are going to see temperatures start to climb up as we get into Saturday, into Sunday. But if you take a look for Tuesday and Wednesday for mid next week, we're going to see the return of 70-degree weather